A video can be an effective tool that creates the emotion that you feel about your issue.
It is one tool in a large toolbox full of persuasive content, but it is a very forceful tool. It amounts to visual communication with the people you want to listen to you. It has been noted that people recall half of what they hear, radio, word of mouth, half of what they see, print, white papers, but 90% of what they see and hear together. The medium of video gives the viewer a three-dimensional experience that can become very personal and very compelling. Short of adding smell, that we are great advocates here of getting smell-o-vision up and running, video offers a chance to use most of the senses. If your video is successful, you'll be getting the relevant community leaders, legislators, or agencies to not only support you, but to partner with you to achieve your goals.
While it's always important to be accurate, we do not espouse intentional miscommunication in any way, shape, or form. There are many ways to weave the video scenario to your favor. This video will explain what your video can do and how you can do it. We'll give you real-life examples of what we've done in the past to make our point, and we'll suggest ways that you can hone in the message you want your production company to develop.
You can produce 30-second pieces, or in some cases 60 seconds, which are in effect television commercials. They can run on paid television rotations, or you can submit them as public service announcements or PSAs, which are free. Television stations, whether national or local cable, have limited placements available for PSAs. So the better it is, the more dramatic, more exciting, more entertaining, the better your chance of getting it aired. This is not a lot of time to convey your message, so it's crucial that you get the point across clearly and, most important, memorably. Longer form videos can range in length from 5 minutes to a documentary format of a half hour or even an hour. The important thing is that you craft your story to the amount of time it will take to tell it effectively and not the other way around. Too long without extremely watchable content and you'll lose your audience and they probably won't ever come back. Today, viral videos or videos that air on the internet are extremely popular. One need only look at the Obama Girl videos or Paris Hilton or a host of others. Certainly the recent presidential campaign used videos extensively. Many large companies are using this sort of video format to get the word out about their products, from Dove soap to BMW, Nike, and everyone in between. These videos can be uploaded to social networks such as MySpace and Facebook, and pure play applications like YouTube, and can also be used to enhance your own website or as outreach videos to run on DVDs at local community forums or Rotary meetings, etc., or at business showcases, and even on public access TV stations if your community has them. It is important to remember when it comes to viral videos that you will not have the luxury of having the news media parse the content and message to the public, as was the case in the presidential campaign. It will be up to you to get attention by what you say and how you say it.
We've mentioned some of the things you can do with your video after it's produced. Now we need to talk about getting the video done and translating your message in an effective manner.
One word of caution on content. Overcome organizational buzzwords. Every nonprofit, trade association, or government agency, advocacy, public interest, or lobbying group, for that matter, just about every business out there exists in a sort of bubble. A bubble of in-the-know buzzwords. When creating your message, leave them behind and address your story with words everyone can relate to. While your ultimate audience might be a senior staffer at your favorite legislator's office or an executive agency member in the office 2 blocks down the road, for the purposes of this video, your audience is every man and every woman, and they won't respond to buzzwords. They will respond, however, to visuals they can relate to. And if they respond, the legislators who represent them will be motivated by your cause and will respond accordingly.
We were hired to produce a video to inform the 50,000 residents of a Northern California city about a proposed housing development in an underpopulated area of the city. In this case, we were hired by the developer and his team to thwart a no on this development measure brought to ballot by major environmental agencies and locals who lived in the actual area of the proposed development. The normal developer versus environmentalist battle was made more complex by several things. The developer had agreed to pay for a huge dredge project as part of the deal. The area had once been a haven with bayfront lagoons that had since begun to revert to silt. The residents who owned homes on the waterfront were adamantly in favor of the development, while the majority, who lived across the street and on the hills nearby, were against it. Besides the environmental concerns, such as destructions of a natural habitat over the years, causing less indigenous birds, the countryside pushed the next huge button: increase in traffic congestion.
So our job was to sell the project. Well, really, tell it like it was. Some folks were sitting with their boats stuck in sludge, praying for a cure that would include an expensive dredge, while the other side was pushing endangered species and traffic disaster. Our team spent many hours crafting the message. We decided to show the rest of the town what their fellow citizens were facing, and that they could do something to help them out. Here's where that smell-o-vision I spoke about before really could have come in handy. When we went to the houses that were waterfront, the smell was so bad that most of them couldn't use their decks, let alone salvage their boats. Many were using their driveways that faced the street instead. The visuals began to tell the tale, and we began to have the essence of our video.
Honey, look, here's a videotape on the Bahia project we've been hearing so much about.
You know, I really wanted to learn more about what exactly the situation is out there.
Well, let's take a look.
Okay.
In an isolated corner of the northeast section of Novato sits Bahia, a community that needs your help. Unfinished, forgotten, now in decline, this area used to be a beautiful waterfront community. Now with nothing but quicksand and mud, they have lost their water-oriented birds, the pelican, the egret, the blue heron. They have lost their marine life too.
I hope everyone in Nevada will just take 10 minutes and watch this video.
I had no idea how bad it's been for our Bahia neighbors.
Well, I want to help. I'm voting yes on Measure A.
Me too. It's the decent thing to do.
Give Bahia a chance. Vote yes on Measure A.
Fireworks manufacturers are a tough nut to crack. They provide hundreds of thousands of dollars for an untold amount of nonprofits, sports teams, and senior citizen centers in local towns throughout most of the country. In California, only a handful of cities have been able to enact a ban on purchasing fireworks. We produce one such successful campaign. The consultant on this project, who was the liaison to the city council, gave us full rein to use drama to get the point across, and we did just that. Every year, hundreds of kids are injured using fireworks, and we needed to get that point across, even if a bit heavy-handed. We were told that the city council applauded once they got themselves back in their chairs. Sometimes you need the crying Indian to get your point across. Don't be afraid to go for a heavy touch if you need it to explain the situation. In the last 4 years, fireworks have caused 85 fires within the city limits of Santa Rosa, burned a total of 47.2 acres, caused over $1 million in damage.
And one more thing, they've injured our children. It's time to tell the City Council that we've had enough. Keep the ban on fireworks that was unanimously approved by the City Council.
Vote yes on Measure F.
And keep our children and our city safe. The Mendocino County Sheriff's Department faced a real dilemma: how to warn of the danger of rapidly increasing meth use in a county that overwhelmingly supported pot use, most often used as medical marijuana, and how to take the focus of accountability into other organizations rather than just law enforcement, and how to get families involved. The sheriff had an idea: create a video to accompany a saliva drug test kit and make it available to every parent of every child in the public school system. After our initial meetings, we were still not exactly specific on what we would create. We wanted to make the video scary enough to warn that meth is often a one-time use addiction, but it was much too serious a situation to dramatize without some real bones behind it. So we decided to shoot documentary style, get out the camera, and see what happened. Sometimes this is the best way to get a project going, especially when issues are extremely potent. We began shooting an on-camera interview with the sheriff outside the county jail as an introduction. 3 women in prison uniforms started watching from the link chain fence and wanted to know what we were doing. When told, each of them revealed that they were in jail because of meth, and each one of them wanted to participate in the video by telling their stories. These stories became the backbone of the video.
It's destroyed my life for a second time. I've lost my house, I've lost my car, I've lost my son.
And within a year wasn't able to feed myself, wash my clothes, or pay my rent, and ended up on the streets.
I would get there at about 5 o'clock in the afternoon just to get high for a little bit, but I would end up leaving at 5 o'clock in the morning.
It was a relief when I did get arrested because I hadn't slept in 5 days, and when they hooked me up I finally could go to sleep. I was tired.
What the hell did I do to myself? I don't look the same. I look so unhealthy. I'm not as pretty like I was before, and you look like shit.
You've seen people who maybe look 60 and they're 25 years old because they've been using meth for 2 or 3 years, and it just ages everything.
They'll just have sores everywhere.
You're not like people that you don't.
Hopefully put the beast to sleep, so to say, but I will never recover from this.
Yeah, in rehab I heard that 1 in 8 make it.
A lot of us will die in this addiction.
Many people have told me that it's a one-time addiction drug, that after you use it just one time, they're addicted for life.
I have nothing good to say about methamphetamine, which I like to consider as death amphetamine.
Lobbying is making a sale. Getting funds for your organization is making a sale. Getting funds to your city is making a sale. The city of Sausalito, California is a gorgeous tourist mecca that hosts famous views of the San Francisco Bay. The first city in Marin County, the county that graces the other end of the Golden Gate Bridge, Sausalito is used to plenty of business, usually visitors from other countries. But after 9/11, the tourists stopped coming, and the city and the businesses in the city were hurting. Likewise, California travelers were canceling plans to travel to Europe. We were called in to create a new Sausalito via video, one that was a quaint European-type getaway for visitors from around the state, especially those that didn't have to get on a plane to visit. It was imperative that we capture the holiday season with our idea, and we didn't have a lot of time to do so. The city and the merchants joined forces and collaborated on a campaign called Europe by the Bay. The city rebounded with exceptional local holiday traffic.
It is interesting to note that in this campaign, while we did purchase traditional airtime with a limited budget on TV stations within the area we were targeting, we also used video press releases to generate a great deal of interest with the local media. And virtually every news station carried a story about the campaign, which included running the commercial as well, even on major networks we couldn't afford to buy time on. The story of the video became the story. So don't ignore the PR benefits of your production.
I can't wait to get back to Sausalito.
It's our most memorable holiday tradition, our own Europe by the Bay, and no waiting at long lines at the airport.
Sausalito is so close to home, but has such a quaint seaside feeling, especially at Christmas time. Remember the art galleries? Each so unique with one-of-a-kind treasures.
And gourmet delights to match anything we found in Italy.
And Sausalito's shopping tops anything we've experienced in all of our travels.
You are right about that.
We found gifts galore.
Yes, as I recall, we shopped until you dropped.
There will be plenty of time to satisfy our other passion, eating.
There's fine dining and certainly no better views than in Sausalito.
The most wonderful hotels too, dear, each with their own romantic charm.
When all the walking, browsing, buying, and dining is done, we can retreat into our own private Sausalito hideaway.
Find European charm in your own backyard. Visit beautiful Sausalito this Christmas and create your own special memories.
It can be a tough world out there. Sometimes, even in the world of government relations, it helps to add some humor to the mix.
The sitting county supervisor had initiated a plan to expand the current county-run shuttle bus with additional buses and stops in the city she represented. This test program would die within a short time if ridership didn't increase to warrant the additional outlay of government funds. The task before us was to make use of the shuttle fund, easily accessible for seniors and those with disabilities or for those who didn't speak English, while emphasizing a specific city identity. We decided to enlist the services of the mayor and first lady of the city to try on some transportation alternatives.
Some seniors in Novato just haven't heard about the best new way to get around town. Some seniors just aren't getting where they want to go when they want to go. Some seniors need an easier way to travel. And now it's here. Novato's Easy Rider is our new shuttle service. Accessible and senior-friendly with fixed schedule pickup and dial-a-ride. With same-day service and no need to make reservations days in advance. Call 892-7899 for more information. Check out Easy Rider Shuttle Service. You'll be glad you did.
When a county sanitation agency wanted to create a public awareness announcement about water pollution, it seemed only fitting that Albert Einstein get involved.
I want to talk to you about water pollution. Pouring used motor oil, paints and pesticides down sinks, toilets and drains is verboten. Recycle them. One wunderbar way you can help is turn in old mercury thermometers. One broken mercury thermometer thrown down a sink or toilet can pollute 5 million gallons of bay water. Go to selected marine fire departments and turn in old mercury thermometers for new digital ones. Look at the way the numbers light up. Why, in my day...
This is a little tricky, but it's really the pith of what you want to accomplish. If you want leadership folks to pay attention to what you are saying, make sure that they know that you know the community wants and needs whatever it is you want to happen.
That really tweaks their self-interest in getting you the legislation, the funding, the buy-in, because in the end, they will look good. Don't harp on your hard work. Emphasize and tweak the good for the community aspect. A large city scored a nice coup with a small piece of a sales tax increase that would go to gang prevention. A major piece went to upping the allocation of police officers, but that would hardly make a compelling community-based video. However, the taxpayers wanted to know exactly where the tax money was going and what it was funding. So we created a video that assured the community that their dollars were being well spent and being allocated to projects that were alleviating gang problems and making real, tangible differences. The City Council was happy, that the community was happy, that the programs were effective.
Street right here was just a 2-lane road. It was all torn up. And when we started over in Apple Valley, we were started in an apartment complex. At that time, there was a lot of drug deals, obvious gang members standing outside, people sleeping on top of roofs, and a lot of slumlords. There was 28 individually owned apartments. And the city came in with the neighborhood revitalization. That's a concentration of police, fire, and other services to deal with the issues that bring down the neighborhood.
There's one other facet of this community buy-in section that's important to emphasize, and that is testimonies or testimonials. Use them often. Many people are happy to contribute their 2 cents on how a project is working. Get interviews with government officials, project managers or developers, recipients of services, taxpayers, etc., etc. They are easy to obtain, and you can stockpile plenty of them. Use these testimonials to fill in the pieces of your narrative as you create your story and edit your footage.
A 2005 report in the Journal of Consumer Research suggests that consumers remember an experience based on 3 things: what the final part of the experience is like, what came before it, and how similar were its parts. In short, this is a case in point for two crucial aspects to your video: continuity and a great closing. Each part of the video should easily flow from the section before, giving more information to strengthen your position and more emotional attachment to the video and what the video represents. And of course, you need to end with a memorable image that ties it all together.
A developer bought a large office complex thinking they'd have no trouble leasing the vacant parts of the building, but due to the weakening economy, they were wrong. So they decided to entirely recreate the campus and add new office buildings, a hotel, and many community-based amenities, and most importantly to go green, with a plan unlike any other in the country.
We started our informational video with a quote from Al Gore's Inconvenient Truth, and we build on it, section by section, going from the developer to the engineers, hammering out point by point the extreme, expensive, and minimalist environmental imprint techniques they intend to use, along with every green aspect of the project. We included an interview with the county supervisor touting the benefits of the TOT, Transit Occupancy Tax, especially important as this city, like many in the United States, is now facing a large deficit. And we closed the show with the state assemblyman who represents the area. A huge environmentalist, he not only embraces the project, he even suggests the potential for environmental benefits. What excites me about the way the developers are approaching this project is that they're looking at the big picture of the environmental impact, from energy sources to waste streams to the building materials. Jared Huffman, California State Assembly, June 27, 2008.
We actually provide some hope that we might meet our long-term environmental goals because it shows a new way to grow. Instead of the type of sprawl development we've seen, the type of haphazard automobile-dependent development we've seen that's frankly killing our environment, warming our planet, by channeling growth and being smart about the materials we use and the strategies we use, we can make sure that the growth we do allow has, well, not only less of an environmental impact, but possibly even some environmental benefits.
And as they say in the biz,
now that's a wrap.